It's about commitment, healing, honor, respect. This is Barber Life. Cutting hair, I like it. Barbershop, I like it. Change your life, I like it. Conversate, I like it.
Peace. This is Conscious Heads Barbering Boot Camp. And the Barbering Boot Camp is not just for the students that I teach in my boot camp, but it's to further the education on barbering. We got a good one here for you today. We have the barber Paul Jones with us today, and we try to bring inspirational people to our platform, people that's done things in the barbering field, people that's made a name for themselves in the barbering field, and just to inspire others to want to be in this field, to want to do well in this field. Many times people come with ambition. Hey, I want to be a barber. I want to be a boss. I want to run my own shop. I want to do this and I want to do that. But it ain't just that simple. It ain't that simple. You know what I'm saying? It take work. And to be a boss, you don't have a person cracking the whip on your back. You got to crack the whip yourself. You got to discipline yourself enough to get up at 6, 7, 8 a.m. in the morning. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I mean? It's a lot of sacrifices that you have to make in order to be a boss, in order to get into this field. You know what I mean? So it's a lot to go with it, but it ain't hard. You know what I mean? But it take dedication and take commitment. So we have our brother Paul with us today. How you feeling today, good brother?
Great, brother. How are you?
Man, I'm doing wonderful, brother. I appreciate you coming through to talk with us at Conscious Heads Barbering Boot Camp. We call this making the necessary MTNA. Make the necessary adjustments. You know what I'm saying? And we talk about that. You know, my mom passed away almost a year ago, and that was one of the sayings that me and my sister kept hearing her say. You know, when she was actually, going through what she was going through, and she kept saying, we never heard this before. She was like, make the necessary adjustments, and it was something that she just kept saying. And and I took that and I was like, you know what, you can use that in every aspect of life. You know what I'm saying? Right? Even in your barbering career, you know what I'm saying? You ain't making enough money. You know what I mean? Trying to figure out how to make it happen. You know what I'm saying? You got to make the necessary adjustments. You know what I mean? And you seem like you've been the person to actually do that, to make the necessary adjustments, adjusting yourself constantly and consistently so that you can be successful in this field. You know what I'm saying? But we glad to have you here, bro. You know what I'm saying? And man, it's wonderful to have you here. And we just wanted to start off, man. You know what I mean? Tell us a little bit about yourself. I mean, I know you are entrepreneur, you do some acting, you do some cutting on sets with many different popular movies that's out there, hair shows that you've actually sponsored and put on, barbering, you know what I'm saying, the artists, you do many things, bro, in the community. Definitely a motivation in the community. And just say a little bit about yourself, bro, just in general.
I'm always the type of person that I feel as though that I try to be where I need to be, because I didn't have that influence when I came up. I did a lot of guessing and then found a lot of good mentors along the way. So that actually helped me grow and be who I am. Because all the stuff that I've ever done was a big guess. Like, hey, let's see what happens if I do this. Let's see what happens if I do that. So at this moment, everything, like I said, in my life, I go in full force, and I'm so good of a character that it just worked out for me. It works in my favor.
Okay. Got you. So man, look, let's go back a little bit, you know what I mean? And tell us a little bit about you growing up. You know what I'm saying? What growing up and what made you want to cut hair?
So my mom's is a senior cosmetologist. She was doing hair before I was born. And I started off, latchkey kid. Then your mother like, look, come up the job with me. You need to learn how to, work. I'm like, all right, cool. So I started off shampooing, and then shampooing went to me, setting perms for people. And then that went to me, just, in all forms of hair. I used to rod.
So did you learn you learned by your mother being a senior, you learned how to do all forms of hair, like, so you learned how to do all of the straight hair cuts and like woman cuts.
No, so I started off actually as a cosmetologist.
Okay,
yeah, I was a real cosmetologist. My mother, trained me Marcel curls, shears, And at the time, you know, when I was growing up, being a male cosmetologist wasn't it. That wasn't it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So
Okay, that's a heck of a back. I mean, it's still a
yeah,
heck of a background coming up though. You know what I mean? Because
yeah.
you know, you learn skills that a lot of average barbers don't learn.
Right. I learned color from my mom's and shear cutting from my mom's perms and just knowing that whole system before I even had a barber license.
That's
You
see,
know what I'm saying?
that gave you an advantage. That definitely gave
Correct.
you an advantage in
Correct.
the field. Okay, okay,
Yeah. And then
okay.
even cosmet, you know, just having the customer service in cosmetology. Because you know, women feel as though if a man washed their hair grow.
Right, right,
So that
right,
was
right.
like I got crazy tips from that. So it was like that was like my drive. Like I can get money, I can get me a little chicken box or whatever I need, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
and
yeah.
that motivated me to stay in it.
Okay, okay. So you started off in cosmetology, and
Mhm.
then it's like, all right, man, I don't really like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know,
No, no, no. I loved it.
you loved it,
I love
but you
cosmetology, but like I told you,
yeah, just
it wasn't
the image of
even if you think about in our time, you know, we came
yeah,
up like pretty much in the same time. You probably a little older, but you know, men who were in hair, they looked a certain kind of way.
yeah,
And you know, not to put my neighborhood down, but you know, I grew up in Cherry Hill. You know, we tough.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So it was like,
yeah,
you know, it was
yeah.
rough. Like I can't, you know, wear them little small little shiny suits with all the little. Now I did meet Cool C. Cool C was a cool dude that was from Bronner Brothers.
Right.
I think he's from Chicago. He was one of the guys that I had met along the way that I was like, all right, if I was gonna be a cosmetologist, I'd be like this. He was a
Right.
cool a guy. Barry Fletcher, you know, a couple of those guys. You know, James Mack from here. He was with the Head Gangsters back in the day. I met
Okay.
them. I used to go to all the hair shows with my mother. So I seen a lot of hair, you know, in my life.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Advantage. You had that. You
Yeah.
had the edge from the start. Okay.
Correct.
Okay. 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 So then, you come up. So then you say, all right, you wanted to go full time with the
Yeah,
barbering
yeah.
thing. Now, what age was you when you decided that?
So I never not cut hair. You know, I always cut hair. I started off at my mom's shop, and she was inside the senior citizen building at the time. And at that time, you know, the seniors would let me come down, let me mess their haircuts up and all that. And then it was across the street was a Asian guy, and I would always go over there and just just talk. I'm a very friendly guy, so I would always go over there and talk. And then one day he was like, "You cut hair?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "I'm gonna let you cut my hair." So when I first cut his hair, man, you talking about sweat dripping down my back on straight hair. It was amazing. The feeling of your heart dancing, you never doing something, and he wanted me to do a fade that which I've never done. It ended up as a bald head, but or real low cut, I should say.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, I'm saying in
Mm.
my classes that, don't be scared. I mean, somebody gonna be a victim for you. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
no
There's gonna be a
question.
lot of people that's gonna be victims for you. And I heard you speaking on one of your interviews, and you was talking about it's people that don't speak to you to this day. You know what I'm saying? And we a lot of us, a lot of us got the same story, bro. I got some
Hey.
people that still pissed at me to this day, because like, come on, man. Because I was experimenting. I started cutting hair when I was in the seventh grade. When I was
Right.
in seventh grade was when I started to experiment with cutting hair and all. But same thing, you know what I'm saying? When you
Yeah.
think you know what I'm saying, and you get that, you know what I mean? And it's a different
Oh, the
texture of
whole
hair, man.
right.
It's like, oh man, this ain't come
It's
out.
even some like
Yeah,
some I ain't gonna say I don't like saying black,
yeah,
but some hue
yeah.
men of color that hair is
Of
straighter
course.
than normal hair,
Yeah.
right? So I went across and I'm telling you, I've murdered some haircuts.
Hey. I mean, and so so we try to tell everybody out here, you know what I'm saying? When you first starting off, some of y'all want to be so perfect. I'm gonna put this out when I get,
Right.
you know what I mean, when I get here and when I do this and do that. Like, look, man, it's a journey. You just
All of
don't
it.
it don't
Right.
it, you gotta open up your barbering third eye. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You know what I
Right.
mean? When you able to see when you first start off, even when I start off my classes, it's very mechanical. And
Right.
I do stuff like step by step, how you hold the clippers and turning the clippers and doing
Mhm.
all that stuff. And then after a while, it becomes like you start to flow with it. You know what I'm saying? And
Well,
get
comfortable
the
for
flow
you.
comfortable.
Right.
Then you start to see. You
Right.
know what I mean? First up, I'm telling people, take that line. You see that line right there?
Mhm.
They can't really see it. You know what I'm saying?
They
Like,
ain't ready
see,
yet.
it's a little
Yeah.
dark right there. You know what I'm saying? They can't really
Mhm.
see it. But then as you start to get into it, that third eye start to develop. And then you
Right.
just flow with it. You know what I'm saying? And that's when you become on a professional level, when you just start to see and your eyes start to open up. You know what I'm saying? And you
Right.
get it. You're like, oh, okay, I'm
Mhm.
getting it. I can see now. I can fully see. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
your third eye open. You know what I mean? At an early age, it seems. And you know, like you said, we done messed some people up, hacked some people up.
Oh man, I'm gonna
But
tell you, I learned how I messed up
yeah,
to learn how to get as good as I am. Right.
exactly. But that got you again to where you at today.
Correct.
And then from there, some of those people that you messed up or got you to the point where you got the clients that you have today.
Right.
Now, you start off, when did you really start to open up your barbering third eye where you really start to understand?
So I was working at it was a spot on Erdman Avenue, Harlem Blues. On that was Erdman in Bel Air.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I was like freelancing at this time. I was just trying to figure it out. I knew how to cut hair. I was cutting hair in the house and cutting hair in my mom's shop, just trying to figure it out, cutting my brothers and cousins. And my brother was going to this dude on that was at Harlem Blues. He
Yeah.
was the owner. He told me come down here, give me a try. So me just being around that guy is like he was amazing to me at that time. And I was like, well, what I'm doing is like bottom
Yeah.
compared to what he's doing
Yeah.
and the years of experience that he had. So
Yeah.
I stress like I need to get better. So I just messed up until I got great.
Yeah.
I just kept trying.
Failed to the top.
And at that time, I think about it now, they got videos on
Oh,
YouTube. And
man.
when I was messing up, we had books. Man, we had the books that come through.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah, I tell them, you know what I mean? When I started in seventh grade. Like I was like, I mean, I went to the barber shop, but not on a regular.
Right.
You know, so it wasn't no YouTube. I had to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Like you
sitting
just
in
figure
barber
out.
shops talking to people.
Yeah, talking to people. And there was a guy around the way who used to cut hair. And he inspired me, but he didn't teach me though, because he was like a bully dude. You know what I'm saying? He was just kind of he was older than me, you know what I mean? Always, you know what I mean? Getting punchy in the chest and stuff, you know what I mean? But you know, you had to just watch and just try to figure it out and really think, you know what I mean, about the whole process.
Correct,
and everything.
yes.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's good. So you start doing that, and then you start getting into now you start doing the Beijing's.
It was me and when I was in school, it was a dude named Elliot. And we went around.
Now you went to
Avaris.
yeah.
Avaris on Pratt Street though.
On Pratt Street, yeah.
Before now it's a pizza spot, but back in the day, that was the spot to go to. Sal,
Yeah.
So I had a homeboy that went to school with me. His name was Elliot.
Okay.
A good friend, man. Like, what's up, my best friend? We was like best friend in barbering. You know what I mean? So his shape ups was amazing. I'm talking about out of this world, and I could blend. From all the years, I always learned how to blend like that. So I would blend, he would do that. And then we would always go to all the barbershops in the area. Everywhere in Baltimore, Earl and Wood and Cusack and Feli, all them guys, we'd go sit in their shops and absorb as much as we could.
Right.
And they was doing Jings at the time.
Yeah.
When Wood was real big on Jings in North Avenue.
Yeah.
So we would go up there and sit up there. And then eventually, man, Elliot said, man, we're going to go down Philly and figure it out. So we went down Philly and we figured it out. When we became great, because, I already had color background.
Yeah.
So I knew the steps. I knew what colors to mix. I didn't know what Began was at the time. So I was like, I never worked with this color. So it was like, I want to see how they work with the color. And then I can add my expertise to it and my art skills to it to make it better.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And that's what I did.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's how I really got into winning the big competitions and all that.
Okay. Yeah. So then you start going to competitions, and that's what you would entering into those.
I just would go. I'm gonna tell you how I started.
Okay.
I didn't know. I never had a mentor as far as head shows went.
Yeah.
I just would show up, and they were like, "Yo, we were doing best fade." And I just jump up there. Sometimes I didn't have clippers. Like I would, hey, let me borrow your clippers, or buy clippers and cut on stage.
Right.
And then I would come in like third place, or, sometimes I didn't qualify, but I just said, what's the point of being scared? I'm going to push myself, and I know what I can do. I didn't know in the time limit that I could do it in.
Yeah.
So a lot of times, my time went out, but I just went in every category and figured it out. Yeah.
So how many trophies did you win? I mean, how many times did you win?
I have a lot of trophies. So
in different, a lot of
Yeah,
different
I won.
categories.
I won a lot of places. Major League, exotics. At the times, you know, these were the places to be. It wasn't no these new shows. It was Major League was like the major show.
Right.
Exotics was the major show. Bronner Brothers.
Right.
I got awarded